Well, it depends on the size of the. It depends on the size of the unit. It depends where they are in the country, but it can vary from £200 to £500 a month.
Okay, and that's where you're collecting it from every
Mhm.
single plot
Every
of,
resident, yeah.
and so ultimately you're buying a piece of land.
Yes.
So that's what you're investing in. So how does like planning permissions and regulation come into it in terms of, hey, you're not allowed to build on this land, or if it's green belt or any of them sort of things that, like, if somebody is thinking, or maybe I'm going to buy one of these, what do they need to look out for?
Well, first of all, to get planning permission for a mobile home park is the same as planning for any piece of property in the UK. I'm pretty sure if you can get planning permission for it, you can put it up and build it. The easiest way to do it is already buy one with planning permission, I would suggest. But yeah, you just have to apply for planning. Listen, greenbelt's greenbelt. You still got to apply to. You've still got to apply to get planning to even to put it up. It's the same as a house. You're not going to get. But again, depending where it is, because listen, some places you'd get planning permission to build a house, but wouldn't get planning permission to build a mobile home park. You'd get some places planning permission to build a mobile home park, but you wouldn't get planning permission to build a house. No, but it's pretty much the same.
So what are some red flags? If I'm thinking, right, I see a piece of land up for sale there, I'll put some homes on it. But what should I be thinking?
You're taking a complete chance. You're just this, it's taking a complete chance. You can have people come round and tell you, like surveyors tell you, yeah, it's possible. You might get planning. Yeah, it's very likely. There's one down the road that just got passed the other day. However, nothing solid. So you buy the piece of land and then could quite possibly you not turn it into a mobile home park. But if you didn't, then obviously you try and build a house on it or try and make use of your land somehow, because you don't just want it for horse grazing.
So what stops you from building upwards then and building a block instead of having this mobile park on it?
I haven't got a clue. I couldn't tell you what stops building up. To be honest with you, I have seen.
Because when you make more money if you built block of flats.
They've got to be. It's why it's called a mobile home. They have to be on wheels.
Right.
So underneath that brick skirting,
yeah,
is wheels and a chassis.
Okay. So, and when you say you own a mobile home park, what does that mean? Does that mean you've got 20 on this site?
It could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 15, it could be 50. On mine, I've got 45 and 20. So I've got one that owns, it's got 20 units, and I've got one that's got 45.
So you got one near Essex, right?
I've got one in
Basildon, and then you got one near Dunstable, is it?
In Dunstable.
Yeah. How do they differ?
Well, one's twice the size for a start. Pretty much they're very similar.
Okay. And so outside of this, what else do you do? Because this is all passive, no?
Well, of course it is. And again, it doesn't keep me busy enough like a full-time job. Like, once the rent's paid, and there's a lot of jobs on there that I can't do. I'm not an electrician. I can't fix lights. I can't cut trees down. I can lay tarmac, but I would still rather subcontract someone to do it because I'm not the best. But these are the jobs that are carried out. I can unblock drains again because I had a drainage company when I was 16 years old, but I'd get someone to do it. But these are the sorts of jobs that come up. Or if a chalet needs siting and there's concrete bases that need laying, I can go there and do it. But this is not a full-time job. So in my spare time, I'm always looking for new business ventures. My newest business venture at the moment, I've started a WhatsApp community.
Okay.
Right. Which actually started off as a mentoring group that I was going to mentor people that was trying to make a success in their business life. However, it just shot off and ended up being a tight-knit community of entrepreneurs like accountants, solicitors, lawyers, from bricklayers to property investors, crypto experts. And it just ended up being the complete place to be. And everybody was literally feeding and buzzing off of one another, using each other's services. And it ended up taking off. So now it's literally a networking group. You come inside the group to network and see if you can find an investor or if you can get help on the property prices or whatever it may be. For example, if you wanted to buy a property in the middle of London today, you will get 5 different opinions on how much that they value it, whether it's a good buy, what you'd get R2R in it, or whatever it may be. And this is how it's ended up. You know, if you need a solicitor or you need a lawyer or you need an accountant, there's trusted accountants inside the group, which this has took off and been very, very successful. And I've had to stop taking applications in for anybody to join the group because it's come on so much. And every now and again, I do pull an entrepreneur that's on his way up in there because I need good people in there to make the group successful and to make people talk about it. But that's what I'm working and focusing on at the moment. And on top of that, I buy and sell watches, Rolexes, APs, RMs, Pateks.
So where do you keep these watches?
I have a safety deposit box in Hatton Garden.
Okay. And is that where you show people the watches?
No, I have an office in Hatton Garden.
Okay. And how do you know how to check for these watches? Like, how did you train yourself to know if this is real or not?
Again, you can only do that with experience. However, because I'm in probably the jewelry district of Europe, or the jewelry capital of Europe, I'm very privileged that I can run it to somebody, or I can have someone in the office pretty quick that is an expert that can check. And that is the only way I'd say the best way of checking is to get an expert, look under it and a glass. Because to be honest with you, they're bringing out extremely good fakes and replicas. It's amazing. I've been blown away a couple of times. It ain't even the watch that you've got to look out for now. It can be as much as the dial. Like we had a problem once upon a time where I bought a Panda Daytona, stainless steel Panda Daytona, if you know what that is, and somebody had swapped the dial and put an aftermarket, which means it's not legitimate from Rolex, Panda dial in it. So originally it had a black dial, but somebody's put a Panda white dial in it, which added £10,000 value to the watch. It's gone through 2 or 3 hands and ended up coming back to me. But these people I sold the watch to, you could say, oh, do you know, they never changed it, because I sold it to friends. And I know like how it left, and we've got photos on it exactly. And somebody actually changed the dial, and it went through 2 or 3 hands before somebody even noticed.
Wow! So they're taking parts out
pretty
of
much,
these watches.
Yeah.
Wow.
And replacing that with a replica. So your watch is real, but dials can vary. A dial in a Rolex, especially a couple of years ago, could be the difference between 20, 30, 40,000 pounds, maybe more sometimes. The same watch, different dial. 20, 30,000 pound more money, maybe more.
Wow. So what's your favorite watch?
Date 840 Rolex.
Okay.
TBR.
Yeah. I'm sure one of my editors will put that on the screen right now. If somebody's thinking of buying a watch right now and they're thinking, look, I want to buy a watch as an investment, I might have 15, 20 grand to invest in a watch, what would you be investing in right now?
Yeah, anything between £10,000 and £15,000 at the moment. It's a very volatile market. They're selling and they're doing good. To be honest, I genuinely believe they're going to go back to where they was at some point. I don't know when. I think once all the wars have stopped in Ukraine, in Palestine, when all this has calmed down and the world becomes, I don't think it'll ever be normal, but a lot more settled place, or settled for a while, I think that will help. And the prices of watches will go back up. And at the moment, they're at their cheapest. If you're looking to buy a watch to invest in, now I would say is the best time. Listen, who knows? We could wake up tomorrow and they could drop. But I'd say now is a good time to invest or to buy one.
Which brand?
Rolex. Rolex is very safe. AP, beautiful watches. When the dip come, they got hit hard. I believe that I believe that, you know, one day they was just going to go pop. We've seen this before. With Frank Muller was very popular in England. Now you very, 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 very rarely see one. But Rolex, I think Rolex are pretty solid. That's where I'd put my money anyway.
Well, thank you for that.
Or Patek.
Patek, yeah?
Patek's good.
You come from a gypsy traveller community. And even I was in the gym this morning and I went, so one of my friends was talking to me. I was talking about the podcast and he goes, who you got coming on today? I said, I got this guy called Alfie Best. I was like, he's from this background. He goes, I'm from that background. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. One of the things I want to talk to him about is, you know, he's converted to Islam. And he goes, oh, what? Like, what? Has he met a bird then or something? And I was like, no, I think he actually, you know, had a few friends or what. I want to find out really what got you into it. But he was in sort of disbelief. Do you know what I mean? When you see like Tyson Fury in the ring, you know, the first thing he says, my Lord Jesus, Savior Christ, you know, sort of thing. And it's like a big community around that. What made you sort of, you know, go into Islam?
Cut a long story short, I've said this story a million times. It's a very